Hi everyone, welcome to the pre-seen classes for June 2024. Pre-seen information has been released, right? And for June 2024, as expected, it was an industry that no one has expected, right? The industry, I would say, being tested here is a service sector, and in the service, we have medication sector. And again, in the medication sector, we do not have for the human medication. Instead, they have tested the pet medication services, right? So again, an industry where I believe that none of you guys would have worked in or had an experience of that. But the thing is that this is totally a luck, right? That which industry comes in the mind of an examiner for this attempt. So it is the industry, again, a service. Then in the service, if we categorize it, it is a medication industry, and more specifically, a pet medication, right? This pre-seen is available or applicable for June 2024 exam. So obviously, these classes are specifically dedicated for the June 2024 exam, okay? These classes are specifically dedicated to that. And yes, I would highlight the importance of this pre-seen. The importance of this pre-seen information is that it will give you an idea about industry. It will also give you an idea about the company, so you can, after analyzing the industry and the company and the information, predict requirements, right? You can predict the requirements that can be in your exam. And while drafting in your exam, make sure you are making a link with the pre-seen information. While drafting in your exam, make sure that you are making a link in your pre-seen. You make sure you are making a link in your pre-seen, okay? So we'll conduct 2 to 3 sessions for this pre-seen. What we are going to offer currently is that we'll conduct 2 to 3 sessions for this pre-seen, right? For this pre-seen. And after that, I'll take the classes of approx 3 past papers. After that, I'll take the classes of approx 3 past papers on exam platform, so that you have an idea how to do that, right? So that you have an idea how to do that. And after doing these 3 past papers on exam platform, what we are going to do, we are going to conduct mock, and I'll provide an individual feedback to everyone seeing these classes, individual feedback to everyone seeing these classes on mocks attempted, right? So this is the pattern of these classes. This is part 1 that you are taking, and I'll upload regularly the classes on my YouTube channel to make sure that each and everyone attempting this strategic business leadership in the June 2024 have a good idea of the paper, and they should pass this paper, right? So here's the content. We have an 11-page summary here, right? Content, that's introduction of this particular case, then pet vet service industry, Ireland, this is our country. Then we have Crow Vet Services Limited, that's on the page 5. And then we have financial information selected summary, that's 9, and the website extracts. And the website extracts, for your information, guys, this website extracts is the new one, right? In the previous case studies, it haven't been given. So the website extracts, I would say, are the new ones, right? Which they haven't tested in the previous cases, huh? Which they haven't tested in the previous cases. Perfect. So let's discuss the first of few pages, right? Let's discuss the first of few pages here, and then we can have an idea that what exactly this case demands. And then In these sessions, as I told you earlier, that we are going to cover the pre-seen, then we are going to attempt some past papers, and yes, then we are going to conduct a mock for each and every student who can solve them and then can send it to me for checking. Okay. There's a question from a student that's whether this industry is new. Has it ever been tested for the practice? So first of all, that industry is very important, right? If you have an idea of the industry, you could draft well. This industry, I don't think so, has been tested in SBL and in the P1, P3 syllabus, right? But in ICAEW, since I am an ICAEW also, I remember that November 2021 exam, what I believe is from this industry, this similar industry, right? I remember that way because I've attempted that exam as a mock while I was preparing for the paper. This particular exam, I believe, is from the pet industry. I totally recall it, right? So if you want, you can read that case study also, the ICAEW's ACS papers case study, right? Advanced case study. I also teach that. But in ACCA, I don't think so. This particular paper has been given, right? This particular industry has been given, and no one would have worked in that particular industry. So you guys have to read this case very well to make sure that you have a good grip on your industry, right? So introduction, it's a two-liners introduction. PVS, Proctor Vet Services, provides pet vet services in Ireland. I told you, pet vet services is the industry. It is the fifth largest organization in the industry in Ireland and has been established for 32 years. Guys, these are some key terms which can be related in the question, that we have an experience of 32 years, right? We are the fifth largest industry now. We are the fifth largest industry in Ireland. So these are the numbers that we need to quote while drafting our answers. If we have got an information, or if we have got to analyze a performance, so we need to quote these things, right? So therefore, I'll highlight the important lines here. And apart from that, I'll give you my marking guess also, that what can be tested in the exam. So you should do the similar type of requirements there, right? So you should do the similar type of requirements there. Now, pet vet services industry, Ireland. Overview. The pet vet services industry provides healthcare for pets. I told you, it's a service that you provide and not for humans. It's for pet, right? So the business depends on the popularity of people having a pet at home. So if that's a country, the country in which they operate in, Ireland, they must have a habit of having a pet at home, right? Otherwise, this industry wouldn't be working there. So the organizations within the industry employ specialist animal doctors, known as veterinarians, and specialist animal nurses, known as vet nurses, to deliver veterinary vet service in clinics, right? So you have some animal doctors within you, in your company, you must have that. And then nurses, animal nurses also, to make sure that whatever the service pertaining to pets is required, right? Whatever the service pertaining to pets is being delivered. This is the business. If you analyze the business pro forma of this particular case study, the businesses that you are going to provide a service for a person who has a pet and require the pet medication. So in order to make your business successful, you need to have the pet doctors, clinics, pet nurses, so that you can deliver this product, right? So it's a service, and for that service, you must have a service master at your business, right? Then, pets are domesticated or tamed animals which are kept primarily as a source of companionship or pleasure, right? Why people prefer these? Because they want a companion. They might be feeling lonely. They might yeah. So Now, why do people prefer pets? It's simple, a source of companionship. So again, a connection with the industry is there, that if there are many people that are single in a particular country, they would have a greater ratio of the pet, and having the pet at home, and that would also mean that this business would grow in that country, right? So these are the links that you have to research, right? Now, what sort of pets they include, sir? They include cats, dogs, as well as other small mammals. Yeah. So they include other small mammals, some birds, small reptiles, and types of rodent. Like these are also types of mammals, the rodent ones. So they are probably the best ones, the best pets that a people have. And the ideal one would be to have a cat or the dog, right? So the maximum people would have cats and dogs, and that sort of other mammals and small birds, reptiles, and all that, right? Now, see, veterinarian study veterinary medicine at university for 5 years. So, a qualification for this is 5 years, and take demanding exam and undergo rigorous on the job training. So it's kind of a medical degree, and it requires 5 years of education, right? So ideally, there should be a support from the education institute, which should allow this degree to be pursued, right? And offer this degree so that a doctor could be there, and so that this business could grow, right? So these are the links that you should be looking for in the case as well as in the pre-scene. Okay. Yeah. Now, services provided. Services provided by vet clinics for pet owners and their patients include. So, what are the services that we offer, or this industry offer? Annual vaccination, okay, diagnosis of health conditions and diseases, any particular diseases to be diagnosed, medical treatment once a condition, disease, or injury has been diagnosed, participation of prescription of medication. A prescription is an authorization of the veterinarian for the issue of certain medication, sale of both prescription and non-prescription medicines. So that means there's a sale of the medication as well, right? Rather than just the analysis or the diagnosis, it is a sales business also. Routine surgical operations, referral for serious medical issues, guidance and advice on pet care, sale of specialist pet food. So they sell the food also, right? They sell the food also. Now that's the industry, right? This is industry. I don't know that our company deals in this or not, but these are the industry that what a particular company or what a particular industry is going to be selling it, right? Then sale of other products, accessories such as bedding, caging, and toys for pets. So these are the product portfolio of the industry. These, I would say, right here, the product portfolio, product portfolio of industry, right? I don't know that our company is offering this or not. We'll study it later. But the thing is that this is the industry product portfolio that ideally a business should be offering all these things, right? Ideally, a business should be offering all these things. So is this important? Like, is this important to have data to know these products? Yeah, because you could comment there that why we don't offer these type of services. The examiner could ask you to analyze the margins, right? If he wants to check your commercial acumen. So therefore he might require you to estimate that why we do not offer these requirements, and estimate the profits, right? That what are the profits if we offer these particular vaccinations, right? Now, services are usually provided via consultation with a vet nurse or the veterinarian, and consultations are usually booked on the telephone or online. In airline, the average consultancy time is 15 minutes. So you could think of it that if a particular doctor sit for 8 hours, so how many customers he can deal is 8 into 60 minutes divided by 15 minutes. So this is probably the number of customers he could deal with, right? This is probably the number of customers he could deal with. So it's 32, right? So 32 customers can be dealt by one veterinarian. And if you have 5, so it would give you your total capacity to deal with this customer, right? Or with the customer of this business. So this is probably the services provided. We have read the overview. We have read the services provided. Let's see the market structure also. The aim of giving this particular scenario is that you should be habitual of and you should learn these things, right? That while commenting or drafting in the exam paper, you should ideally have the information in your mind, right? That what exactly was written, and then you could code this. And this is the liking of the examiner, that you should be able to code these things, right? Now, market structure. Traditionally, vet organizations were small businesses run by veterinarians, right? Of a group of veterinarians. Each business include 1 or 2 clinics. Growth was driven slowly and organically by obtaining new clients. So this was the tradition, huh? This was the tradition, that we have limited number of growths, we have limited number of clients, we have limited number of clinics. So that was tradition, right? Now what's in current industry? Check this. As the number of pets in Ireland increased, so now the pets have increased, the ratio of the pet has increased, so obviously business is going to be growing, guys, come on. So the size of many businesses grew. Larger organizations began acquiring smaller ones, right? So larger went for the acquisition of the smaller ones due to potential cost savings from economies of scale. From economies of scale due to potential cost savings. It is anticipated that this acquisition activity will continue over the next 5 years. It is anticipated that this acquisition would be continued for the next 5 years. So ideally, this paragraph links with a question that there might be an acquisition of a business, right? This could be your question, that there might be acquisition of a business, and you can apply the SFA model if you want. You would have to know about the company and the industry so that you can apply this model greatly. But the thing is that acquisition could be a question. The thing is that this industry is preferring the acquisition, right? So you have a good idea of the industry, that this industry is preferring the acquisitions. So more recently, multinational organizations, particularly those which have pet food divisions, have been attracted by the industry's profits. So see, now the MNCs are diving here also. Like MNC have got an interest. Those who sell pet food divisions, right, have attracted this industry, have been attracted by the industry, and have been acquiring vet businesses. So MNCs are also targeting that. This is again a key point. MNC looking for this business. So that means that this business could be grown nationally in the Ireland as well as internationally also, right? So remember these key points. I'll repeat it again and again, but you have to remember this also. Now, an added attraction for the industry is that it provides another route to market for their pet food products. So this particular, I would say, a market diversification or segmentation that you are growing by growing into a similar nature of business. You are growing and you are growing kind of similar nature of business, which again requires a lot of efforts, right? Which again requires a lot of efforts. Ideally, the MNCs wouldn't be requiring that much effort. And why is that? Ideally, the MNCs wouldn't be requiring that much effort. And why is that? The thing is that they're already in a segment that's pet food divisions. Now, what they have to do, they have to acquire some doctors, they have to negotiate with them, and they have to set up their clinic, and they would get a similar nature of business where they have kind of expertise also, right? So these multinational organizations are expected to continue the expansion through acquisition activities. Now see, currently 3 MNCs control 52%. So there are the top three companies that controls the 52% of Ireland's pet industry. We are not the third, we were the fifth, right? They told you that you are the fifth one, huh? Fifth, here it is. They told you that we were the fifth one. They operate clinics on a nationwide basis. These are also there are also three large independent vet organizations which operate clinics on a regional basis. So three are the market leaders, three are the independent, and 100 of smaller businesses using employ less than 10 people. So what do we get from here? That this business could be started from a mixture of 10 people to the ones that led the thousands, right? To the ones that led the thousands. So you do not want a significant people to start, and therefore there's not a significant cost of entry. Huh? You just need a team. There is no significant cost of entry in this business. You might be asked with the Potter's analysis of the industry, and then you have to make this point that the cost of entering in an industry doesn't seem that much, because you can be as small as you want and you can be as large as you want. Huh? You can be as large as you want. Now, market share by revenue of the major players in Ireland on 31st March 2024. This might be your year end. So, Glois Group, Bellstone Group, Hewed Group, Dennis Vet Clinics, and we are the fifth one, that's Procuro Vet Services, right? So, this is the market share. Ideally, this also seems that you're on the fifth position and you want to go on the top. So, you might acquire, right? And Ireland pet industry employed about 36,000 people and generated revenue of 2.5 billion. That means government might want, you can have the details in the question also, the government might want to support that, right? Support this industry. And why is that? Because this is an industry which employs 36,000 people. I don't know the total population of Ireland and the total qualified professionals, but think of that, right? And it generates a $2.5 billion business. So any industry or any company would also want, any government would want this business to be as growing, as stagnant as it can be. And the thing is, because it's a safer for the people and also generates revenue, right? Government doesn't want to finance it. Huh? Government doesn't want to finance it. Now, our target for this particular session is to cover at least the industry aspect here, and then we can go on to the company aspect and the requirements, what can be, and some of other revision classes and the questions that I will be solving by reading these cases, so that you can have an idea of a good, right? So that you can have an idea. Any questions, guys? If you guys have any particular questions, you can ask the students taking the live classes. They can ask me on the chat box of the Zoom, and the students, those who are taking this recording, they can text me with this, my WhatsApp number. It's 923312623849, right? You can text me with the questions if you guys have. Perfect. Any questions? If not, shall we move ahead? Yeah. So let's just go ahead with a further industry outlook, right? Let's just go ahead with a further industry outlook. That's revenue. Huh? So average annual growth in revenue in pet vet service over the last 5 years has been 3.5%, right? So it's 3.5%. Growth level of 6.8% are expected for the next 5 years, right? So this is particularly the growth that has been estimated. Huh? This is particularly the growth that we are estimating here in 6.8% in the coming 5 years, right? So these are the numbers you have to remember, right? Levels of pet ownership have been increasing for a decade and are expected to increase at even faster rates, right, over the next 5 years. So this is appealing for the industry. Now, this particular thing is appealing for the business. The thing is the pets are going to be increased, right? And if the pets are going to be increased, that means the business can grow, but it would also attract competitors, right? The business can grow, the demand will be high, right? Demand would be high, and the price would be high. So that means diagnosis, treatment, and care, leading to a longer pet lifespans. So people gonna be offering these services also. Like people will be preferring the nutritions, diagnosis, treatments, so that our pet lives longer. If they really like their pet, right? Spending time with their pet. Now, revenue growth is also expected from pet healthcare plans, right? Which are increasingly in popularity. These spread the cost of treatment pets and may need over several months, making complex treatment more affordable. So what they want is they're making the pet healthcare plans also, and this is also getting a popularity. So this can be a new product, right? This could be a new product launch that we are giving our pet a healthcare plan, which would automatically get the treatments more affordable, and it won't be that much complex, I would say, right? And this would also spread the cost of treatment for the pets, right? So that means that they won't be investing that much significantly on the health of pet. They won't be spending that much on pet, right? Now, changing attitudes to pet is also have positive impact on revenue. Clients are more generally willing to spend increasing amounts of money taking care of the pets. Most pet owners consider the good health of pets to be necessity and use the service of veterinarians regarding their disposable income. Now, see, people are not preferring their disposable income. They are not focusing on their take-home money. They are, or they want their pet to be good health, right? And they are willingly giving some good amount of sum to their pets, right? They are willingly spending some good amount of pets. Now that attracts the nature of the industry, right? The nature of the buyer. Now here, because the people's preference is that, so that means we are not going to see, since the people preference is that, so that means we are not going to see the bargaining power of our customers, right? Bargaining power of customers here seems to be low to this point. And why is that low? The thing is because they do not are focusing, they are not focusing on the money, and they want their pet to be healthy. So that means they're spending money, they are not negotiating, they are not thinking of their money, their disposable income. They are just spending to make sure that their pet is healthy and having a greater lifespan, right? So that means your bargaining power is going to be high. You're the supplier, so your bargaining power is going to be high, and your customers bargaining power to be low, right? Did you get my point, guys? Now, costs. What are costs? We have staff costs, including training, comprising the biggest portion of costs incurred by pet vet organization. Purchases includes medical supplies such as medication, bandages, syringes, as products purchased for resale, pet foods, accessories. Other costs includes premises, administration, health and safety. So this is the cost breakup, I would say, right? This is basically the cost breakup that people will look at. This is basically the cost breakup that people will look at. Now, clients, what are the clients? While historically pets have tended to be owned by those over the age of 35, 60% of new pet owners in Ireland in the last 5 years aged to be 16 to 34. So this again, another analysis, right? Now, another analysis I'll write here because they have done that now previously people aging more than 35 have tended to be owning a pet, right? But in last 5 years, there has been some significant downturn. And what's that? It's that aged between 16 to 34, now they are the 60% owning. Now, what's that? The analysis is that 40% of people are more than 35 and owning pet, whereas 60% of people are less than 35 and owning pet. This is the analysis they have mentioned, right? So this can be the comment in your question, whatever the question is. This could be showing the attractiveness of your industry. Yeah, this could be showing the attractiveness of your industry. Now, clients choose clinics which they can travel to easily and they get there more quickly in emergency, and that can minimize the transportation for their pets. Clients are increasingly looking for convenient consultation times in evening and the weekends. So that means this could be the high rush time. So that means this particularly could be the high rush times. I would say a revenue earner time, right? A revenue earner time. A business could offer discount at this time to attract the market share. Now these could be the comments, right? Discount to attract the market share, meaning pet vet organizations are under pressure to extend opening hours, right? So they could extend the hours also. Huh? They could extend the hours also. Now many clients benchmark consultation organization in the same area in order to keep fees low. Many vet organizations mark up medication prices, right? So in order to keep the fees low, many organizations could mark the medication prices rather than increasing the consultation fees, right? Rather than increasing the consultation fees, they could ask you to minimize, the consultation fees here, right? So now what uh we have learned from this particular industry till now, that this seems to be an attractive industry. Now see, this is all the analysis that they've done, and now you could predict your requirements by reading just these 3 pages, that there could be acquisition, there could be a product launch that we do not offer, there could be an estimated time of product profits. These are questions so far that I believe that can be questioned from you guys in this case, right? That can be questioned from you guys in this case. The probably the market share you want to increase, you want to be the top 3, not to the top 5. This could be the thing, right? So having a good grip on this case is surely going to give you a benefit while drafting your answer in the exam. If you haven't a good grip in your case, that might impact your performance, right? That can impact your performance here. Now sir, we have read some good questions. Now sir, we have read some good questions, the good notes for the industry. The thing is that, can we talk something bad about the industry? Do we have that data? So yes, challenges within the industry. So there's are some challenges. That industry is attractive, doesn't seem that much attractive, right? That industry is attractive, doesn't seem that much attractive. So what are the challenges, sir? The first challenge can be the veterinarian and the vet nurse, right? That could be the challenge. The other challenge could be the supply, right? The other challenge could be the competition. So what are the challenges in this industry? And that could lead to another question, that how to overcome these challenges. Huh? Examiner could ask you that how to overcome these challenges. Now, recruitment and retention of staff is becoming increasingly difficult. The first challenge, guys, that recruit and retention, as highlighted earlier also, right? There's a demand for these peoples and they might charge high. They might switch from your company. So there is an issue. There's an increasing demand for the veterinarians because the recent rise in number of pets, and fewer people are training as veterinarians because of the rising cost of the training. So see, the trainers are not there, but the demand for the trainers is there. Huh? So that means the people are having pets which require the veterinarians, but the thing is that people are not preferring this qualification because this requires significant cost, because this education requires significant cost. Now these two factors have led a nationwide shortage, guys. So that means that customers bargaining powers is more low because they do not have further options, they do not have more options. There is a very less product, a service being available here. The reason is that you have greater number of pets, but you have lower number of pet people to deal with, right? So the first challenge that's highlighted, I would say, is recruitment and retention. Is recruitment and retention. Now Long working hours. So long working hours. What's that now? Driven by a shortage of staff, a sharp rise in pet ownership and client demands for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year are an increasing problem across the industry. So this is an increasing problem, right? In the industry now, challenging negotiation with pet owners who cannot afford treatment are regular occurrence. So that means there are some people who cannot afford the treatment as well, who cannot afford the treatment as well. These two issues having an effect on the well-being of and staff across the industry. 5% of staff were absent with the work-related stress. So there's an issue of the work-related stress. Their life balance, healthy life balance is not maintained. Healthy life balance is not maintained while reading this scenario, right? So that could result in staff not being interested in your job or not motivatingly doing that job. And staff retention is problematic with average staff turnover is 13%. So the industry's turnover is 13%, which is quite high, right? So ideally your company's turnover should be low. That shouldn't be that much higher. That shouldn't be that much high. We're going to be seeing that in the later pages, right? We're going to be seeing that in the later pages. So far, we'll do today till the challenges, right? So we'll have some other sessions as well. So client loyalty is low. There's a high level of competition on fees, quality of care, range of services offered, and the opening hours between the clinics, which are closed. Although competition has fallen to some extent over the past few years because of industry consolidation, competition from the other channels increasing as follows. Now, the competition in the industry is low because of the acquisitions they have done, but the other channels competition is high. Now, what's that? Now, what's that? Large budget pet stores. Two superstores sell a wide range of pet food at low prices, offering discounts. At low prices, they might be offering discounts since they are the grocery stores. So they might be offering a good discounts or deals for the day. So they can be any store staff also offer general advice about pets. So the staff is also offering a general advice. So the poor people who cannot consult to the consultant can go to these stores. So there's an automatically shaking of the revenue here, right? Online pet medication. If client obtain prescriptions from the veterinarians, they can buy prescription medication, often a significant price. Pet organizations from institute to the veterinarians, it's the online availability of the pet medication providers, right? So this is also a threat, I would say. This is a competition for yours. So these three can be a significant competition. So you could suggest your company to enter in these areas, like go to the online medication providers also, right? Offer your products at a good discount to the large and budget superstores so that they can promote or sign an MOU with them so they can promote your product and offer them a percentage. So you can do this. Now think commercially, guys. Think commercially also. Telehealth uses electronic communication and information technologies to enable healthcare professionals to provide healthcare services remotely. There are several pet vet telehealth providers in Ireland offering services to their own clients on behalf of other organizations, right? So some only offer remote services such as advice via telephone, web chat, or video consultations, while other provide a mix of both remote and face-to-face services. So this is kind of a application, I would say, an electronic communication, informative technologies to enable healthcare professionals. There are several pet vet health providers in Ireland offering services. So that means that there can be an issue, there can be an highlight of the telehealth also. Like this is kind of an electronic communication between the people. And they offer 24/7, 365. The interest here, I would say, right? Because the doctors were kind of navigating that we do not walk to work all the day, all the night. So this is the application that could offer you a good service at 24/7, 365, right? And remotely can be done. So this again is a point of attraction, I would say. This again is a point of attraction. So ideally our company should offer this kind of, at least these two services, right? At least these two services. Now pet healthcare has a large carbon footprint due to waste production. So, and question on sustainability is also the target, right? Question on sustainability can also be a target, right? Question on your any analysis on acquisition on I would say sustainability, because this industry is leaving a bad environmental footprint, right? This industry is leaving a bad environmental footprint also. Now, resource consumption and medicines usage, there have been recent negative press reports and human healthcare industry which highlights the need to consider the environmental impact of the industry, and there are fears with the pet service industry that will soon similar have a negative publicity. So that means you have to make sure that your environment is your company is sustainable. Otherwise, it could attract negative publicity. Otherwise, it could attract negative publicity, or there can be a particular pressure group also. Now, these could be the possible scenarios, guys. So what I'll do is, since now we have done the challenges as well, so I will get you solve after this case study the requirements that are probably kind of a similar of nature. Like I'll solve the requirement of sustainability in front of you. I'll solve the requirement of acquisition in front of you. I'll solve the requirement of any particular pressure group raised in front of you. So things that could collab with this case study, right? The things that could easily collab with that case study and can have an particularly things to be done here, right? So this is particularly the case that we have done in today's class. Our target is that we'll have at least 3 to 4 sessions for the pre-seen, and then we'll have discussions on the past papers, kind of a similar in nature, or the requirements that are in terms of similar in nature, right? So hopefully you would have liked my session. And yes, if there are any questions, my WhatsApp number is in front of you, and you can join our classes for the upcoming June 2024 exam, for which this pre-seen has been released. So inshallah, in the coming day or two, I'll release more session for my pre-seen and the analysis and the similar type of questions that can be tested, right? So hopefully you would have enjoyed my session. See you in the next class. Take care.